Good morning friends. Today we'll talk about how to convince an investor to invest in real estate. As you may be aware, there are several investment opportunities available with any real estate investor, any investor actually. Now, how to convert them into a real estate investor? So today we'll talk about convincing investors. I am Manan Choksi. I am the regional director with Remax MGM, and today I am also a chartered accountant by qualification and by profession, and we will be talking about how we can get a larger share, how we can make real estate as a larger share of a investor's wallet. So if he is investing say a crore rupees, then how we can bring 80 lakhs or maybe say as much as full crore rupees into real estate. If we are able to channelize that investment into real estate, we are able to do more deals and the market improves. Investor buys a house, end user a home. So an investor buys a house, he uses as a commodity, while in end user uses it as an emotional attachment. He uses a home. Now you may be aware of this fact, but you may not be aware of the fact that their criteria to buy both of the things is totally different. When you buy a house, as an investor, the first thing you see is that how will I be able to resell at the maximum price? Will I get the adequate return on investment? While when a person buys a home, his last thing is that criteria is that will I be able to sell it at a higher price. Now investors want to sell it as early as possible, end user wants to sell it as later as possible. Because an end user, when he buys a home, he invests a lot of money into making it from a house to a home, like interiors, like he settles down and builds contacts with neighbors, like utility services around the house. Okay, so we will go, next step is what are the customer types. There are end users, there are investors, there are corporates. What is the difference between an investor and a corporate? Investor is a person who invests for a resale, while a corporate invests for the company use. So they may not be the users themselves, but they may be users for a employee, or say maybe a customer. They want to have their customers stay in the property. What is the competition? When we say investors, what is the competition to the real estate investment? Is the competition from a car? Will a person buy a car or a house? First competition is their own business. Most of the investors, if they are a small and medium enterprise owner, they would want to invest in their own business. Then there is spending on depreciable assets like car or maybe a holiday, a foreign trip. So this take up the customer share of wallet. Financial instruments are also one of the big competitors. They include stocks, mutual fund, bank deposit, life insurance. Precious metals like gold, silver, and sometimes copper. Copper, one time you gave a better return for a brief period, gave a better return than even gold. But that's of course volatile and it's not a stable return. But however, it was, a lot of people did invest in such metals. So what we need to do is we need to compare real estate investment with each and every of the competitive investment products available. How does it fare? Let us evaluate how does a real estate investment fare. Real estate investment is the only investment which gives all of the following. Recurring income in case of constructed property. So if you buy a constructed property, say a ready to possess flat, or a bungalow or a office premises, then it would give a recurring income to the investor. Capital appreciation. As you may be aware that cost of construction is continuously rising, and the cost of land is continuously rising, and the cost of labor is continuously rising. Of course, not to mention that people want to, the areas are getting developed, like cities, outskirts of cities are getting developed, so the cost of living there, maybe taxes and things like that, are also rising. Now when that happens, you get capital appreciation. Full security. Real estate investment is the only investment which gives you full security. Gold cannot be stolen. Companies can go bankrupt if you invest in stocks, and even banks may close. It is not that banks do not close. There was a period where a lot of cooperative banks did get closed in Gujarat and across India, that so much so that a lot of people have lost a lot of money. So a bank FD is not necessarily the safest investment. Ability to consume cash component. Now if you have a cash income, or if you have a cash due to you have sold real estate, so where do you put it? You cannot put it in gold because it may get stolen. You cannot put it in stocks because you need white income. And what do you have left? Maybe yes, real estate. I have made a small table in which we have comparing it with all the assets class: gold, shares, mutual fund, bank deposits, bonds, real estate. Now let us evaluate each factor of decision making. Does gold give capital appreciation? Yes, gold gives capital appreciation. Shares and mutual fund give capital appreciation. Bank deposit, no, they do not give capital appreciation. Bonds, they do not give capital appreciation. Real estate, it gives capital appreciation. Recurring income, gold doesn't give recurring income. Share does give recurring income, but it is not much. Bank deposit, it gives only recurring income. Bonds, yes, which is not much because it is a very safe investment. Bank deposit is also not very much, but real estate investment gives a lot of capital appreciation. Scarcity. Is there scarcity of shares? No. Is there scarcity of bank deposit? No. You can deposit as much money you want. Is there scarcity of bonds? No. You can print as many as you want. But is there scarcity of gold and real estate? Yes, there is. Safety of investment. Now is the question is safety as in, we are not asking as a safety as safety of principle. What we are asking is, will your investment be safe? Now gold can be stolen. Gold can be a big problem to put up in a locker and save, because again while putting in the locker and coming out it can be stolen. So what do? Then what about shares? Like I said, companies can go bankrupt. Bank deposit, yes, it is pretty much, it is also insured to some extent. Bank deposits are safe, but like I said, banks do go bankrupt. Bonds are relatively secure against asset, and yes, there are some level of safety. Real estate, on the other hand, has a lot of safety. The reason being that real estate investments do not, is like as the meaning goes, it's immovable property we are talking about, so it doesn't get moved. Yeah, in real estate investment there is a insecurity of government acquisition, but government has to pay full compensation. Of course government would not compensate on the black portion, but yeah, theoretically government has to pay a full compensation. So government regulation has been improved since a while, and now acquisitions have not been as easy as they used to be. Okay, so if you see only in real estate, everywhere it is a yes, 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 and it is one of the best investment. Capital appreciation, other benefits of real estate investment include capital appreciation linked with inflation. So investment is automatically hedged against inflation. Okay, so let me explain you the concept of inflation. When we say that in India the inflation is about 10%, so what does it mean? It means that the total cost of living of various products have been increased by an average 10%. So year on year, if we last year used to buy say tomatoes for 10 rupees a kg, now it is come to at 11 rupees a kg. Now how does tomatoes cost increase? Say maybe cost of transportation, say maybe cost of labor, say maybe cost of the water in which the farmer uses for growing the tomatoes. Now likewise, how does the real estate price increase? Most of the real estate price increase is due to the increased cost of inputs. So say maybe cost of input is cement, steel, labor, land, water, sand, bricks. Okay, now most of the material used in construction consumes a lot of oil to make and deliver at your place. Now you may see that whenever there is a cost increase, usually it is driven by a rise in oil prices. Now this oil prices also dominate the rise of prices in real estate materials. Okay, so here's the thing: when you invest in real estate, you invest in a material which is purchased at a lower price. So cement was transported to this location 10 years ago. At that time the crude oil price was $50 now a barrel, and now it is $100 a barrel. And so just the same cement, if it was again transported here, it would cost almost double. Now also to make that cement will be double. So automatically whenever there is a real estate investment, automatically just there are two plots, one bungalow is built in say 2000, and it is bought at say 1 crore rupees. 10 years later, if the beside adjoining plot decides to make a bungalow, or if it's the same specification, everything is same, size, quality of material, everything is same, the same bungalow will cost maybe 10 crore or something like that. So when you invest in real estate, it is inflation hedged automatically. On a rented property, another benefit we'll look is, on a rented property the loan repayments are partly done by the rent. So you get full returns on the capital invested. For example, you invest rupees 50 lakhs in a flat of 1 crore. The remaining amount is from a loan. Then from day one you earn return on rupees 1 crore. So when I say that real estate investment gives you a return of 10%. So if I invest in 1 crore and I get 10% on 1 crore, but in real estate you get like loan, and in that you can get for 50 lakhs. So you start getting return on 10 crores for a investment of 50 lakhs, and the bank interest is paid from the recurring income of rent. So eventually your loan is repaid. There are some subvention scheme in which a financial institution ties up with a builder to sell the property at a very good financial terms. In this case, the subvention scheme, the customer pays only 10% of the value of the property and has to pay remaining 90% on the date of possession. Unlike stock market, you don't have to daily monitor the prices. The beauty of real estate is the market is not volatile. So you don't need to daily monitor the prices. What you need to do is just buy after doing a comparative market analysis, and sell after doing a comparative market analysis. This is the only two things which you need to understand. Provide a second home for leisure. A lot of people in tier 2 cities had invested in an outskirts of that city 10 years ago. Today their investment have increased 10 times or more, 15 times, because those outskirts are now in the city. Leverage. Real estate investment can be mortgage, unlike stocks and mutual fund. Earlier stocks where you can give stocks on mortgage, but now the regulations pretty much made it impossible. But real estate investment right now you can mortgage and get a lot of amount of loans. Home loan has income tax benefit. Also rental income attracts lesser tax than interest income on bank FD. So if you have a bank FD, you do not have a benefit of standard deduction. While when you have a rental income, you have a benefit of standard deduction. So when you have on 10 lakhs of rental income, you automatically get a few lakhs standard deduction, and then remaining amount is taxed. While if you get a 10 lakhs worth of real estate bank interest, then what you get is you have to pay full tax on 10 lakhs. There is no deduction. It has given further tax benefit to home loans for the first home buyers. This is the recent budget. There are various types of investors. One is a speculator, another is a flipper, then comes income stream investors, and eventual users and developers. So let us discuss on each aspects of each and every. What is a speculator? A speculator is a person who speculates that this market is going to grow at a high speed, and then he invests and then he pulls out. Most probably his investment go waste, and then he is stuck for a long term, and he calls it a loss and sells it off faster. This is a speculator. Flipper is a person who continuously flips the property. So he buys at a time when the property is valued at X, and then if he gets 2x, then he flips. But his idea is that he does more transactions and he earns more. They are good people for a real estate agent. Income stream investor. Income stream investor is a person who is looking for a long-term income source, typically MNC tenant. So why MNC tenant? Because MNC tenants are secure, and they usually get income. The investor gets income for a long period of time. Eventual users are people who are not users right now. They think that let me book an apartment, maybe rent it out, and then maybe I will be able to stay in it. Developers are people who buy chunk of land and then make it a plot and then develop it. Type of investment. Let us see what kind of investment options you have in real estate investment. Apartment, here you get capital appreciation and rental. Bungalows, majorly you get capital appreciation. Rental is not a big market for rental bungalows. Offices and shops, capital appreciation and rental. You get a lot of capital appreciation and less rentals in a commercial space. Pre-leased properties, lesser risk. The least risk among a steady source of income would be, say, maybe a pre-leased property to McDonald's, or a pre-leased property to a bank, or a pre-leased property to a big multinational company. In plotted land, if you invest in plotted land, you do not expect anything except a capital appreciation. Agriculture land, capital appreciation, you get capital appreciation and you get retention status of a farmer. There are a lot of people who have held agricultural land in India for just the need of of retaining their farmer status, because only a farmer can own agricultural land, and that is the reason why you require, like, people buy agricultural land. So how do you convince each set of customer? If there is a new property, You have to convince that pay 25% right now and start earning 10% or return on 100%. So if you book a flat for 25 lakhs and 1 year later you come to know the flat is of 1 crore, and one year later you will get, say, a return of 1 crore, not on 25 lakhs that you have invested. When you sell it, once it's completed, usually property appreciates by approximately 25%. Some more, some less, depend on the supply in that city and that time. With a subvention scheme, 10% is paid right now and remaining 90% at the time of possession. This is even easier to convince, as the bank releases the payment to investors only when the construction gets over in stages. So it's the bank's responsibility to ensure that whatever amount they have given to the builder usually is put to best use and a building is constructed from that amount. If he does not able to invest, able to deliver on time, the bank will stop payment. So it is safest to invest in a subvention scheme, even if you don't take the subvention. Saving on interest cost, as bank usually charges interest from builder while cost of property is fixed, so save from the inflation. How to convince? Old property. There is no risk delay in delivery or non-delivery of real estate due to construction delays. So new property, the biggest problem in India is delayed due to lack of permissions. So what do? Is you book, and then you don't get the permission to start construction, or maybe complete half done construction and there is a permission is taken back. Then what your money which you have invested is in the wrong hands. Property can be touched and felt. When it is a resale old property, you can touch and you know that this is the big wall which has this color and it feels like cold. And while in case of new property, you have no idea whatsoever what is going on or what will be eventually. Property can be bought on loans, so that liquidity is a problem, it can be solved. Usually comes with some finishing, more carpet area and neighbors. So when you are selling an old property, you have to sell that, you have to not only see the property but you have to see the area and the neighbors, and that is the reason why agent like you should be hired. Recurring income or yield based property. There is a concept called yield based property, in that you get to sell a property which is for a specific yield. Yield can be as much as 12% and as low as 5%, but the yields are falling and still people are investing. The reason being is that only on the white portion the yield is calculated, not on the black portion. A McDonald's will give a lesser yield than a mom and pop store. Stability of income is also more important. So what you have to understand is that if you have a yield based property at 10% and if you have a McDonald's property at 6%, then you do not need to tell the customer that you should not see the McDonald's proposal, it is too less. No, that is a wrong thing. Most probably he will go with McDonald's because it gives stability of income. Risk factors. All investment options have a risk factor. Remember, there is no return without risk. Liquidation is the biggest risk in real estate because it takes a long time to liquidate. Another risk is maintenance, as most properties require some expense, even empty. Clear title, paperwork and time to do transaction are few points which are risky, which makes real estate investment a little bit risky, but trust me that it is worth it. Educate investor looking for a recurring income. So when there is a recurring income investor, you have to educate him that they need to furnish it properly, then you will be able to rent it out. If the tenant leaves, the income may stop, but capital appreciation does. So you have to give them a working that even if your tenant leaves, you will be able to make money because there is a capital appreciation. Delayed project completion on May affect the returns of the investment, so usually the capital is safe. Yes, delay, there is, like I said, new property, there is a delay of construction, and what happens? Most probably the returns may suffer, but not the capital. Always remember, advise the investor to invest in a property only if you are sure that you can match the customer's expectation from the property. Like, resell at 25% higher amount after 2 years, get a tenant. So do not overcommit or you will lose your customer for life. So that is the PPT from my side, and if you have any questions, please write to us on helpdesk.mgm@remax.in. And I'm Manan Choksi here. This is the end of the session. If you have any questions, please feel free to contact me. Thank you.